send, and then what I'll do is I'll just introduce us that we are the Keshe Foundation Manufacturers Peru. So I'll just introduce that, and then we'll go straight into those 4 items that we need.
We're recording.
Juan here, and I'll introduce to a couple of people new here, and then Juan, of course. We've got Juan can sit there, I think.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Welcome to Keshe Foundation Manufacturers Peru, SRL. We are official, and we're waiting for the Keshe people to come down and sign over some shares and get mixed in and show us a few tricks and things like that. That's what's happening here at the moment. We've got a full house here with Risi, Liliana, Janet here, and we've got Daniel, Juan Moreno, and we've got in the corner Augusto. So in the room here we've got Ed Weatherall, we've got Carrie Ellis, Don Greenfield, Carl Maltson's here, who's at the other side of town from here, and we've got John. So John, we've got a few things to show you. We've got a live plug-in as well on our Magrav unit, which I'll show you now. That's been tested. It's passed its test. So we can now plug that end in and get that plugged in live. We can do that today. Now, I've got a couple of questions. I want you to show me that I think that that is live. And what it is, John, is I can't test inside this cable whether this is live or this is live. So can you show me how to do that, please?
Okay, go get your ohm meter.
Yeah, got that.
Set it for ohms.
Set it to ohms.
Yeah. Now, inside your Magrav unit, where the copper wire, the white copper wire, is actually connected to the gravitational of the bottom coil, put one probe on that.
Sorry,
inside your Magrav unit,
yeah,
where the white copper wire, the plug wire, is attached to the gravitational, the lower gravitational coil. Okay, you need to put a probe on that connection.
The input?
On the input, yeah. On the Magrav unit itself. Okay, put it right on the copper. No, just one side of the probe. Just one probe.
One probe?
Yeah.
Which is the brown one? Yeah. Okay.
You know, you're not putting this on the nano coating. You're putting this right on the copper of that wire. Okay. And now test on the plug which one has continuity. No, the other plug. Okay, so follow that wire to where it goes and attaches to the Magrav unit on the live side. Put a probe on that connection and then test each one of those.
It just stays at 1.
Okay, you're not on the right connection with your other probe though. Where the wire you have in your hand right now, the white wire you have in your hand, where it goes through the case and attaches to the Magrav unit. That's where you need to connect to. So you might have to pull your Magrav out of the box. Because it's right at the bottom of your system.
No, I put a wire right up to bring it to the top so I can have a nicer fit.
Oh, okay.
Might have to pull it out of the box.
Okay, but you want to go right, you know, just so you're testing that wire and you're looking for which side is connected to which side of the plug.
Okay. Are you coming?
Yeah. Sideways if you can. Oh, no, there you go. Extra pair of hands, that works.
So that one goes there, and then
now one of those plugs should have 0 resistance, or one of those connections should have 0 resistance. And make sure you're testing on the copper, not on the nano coating.
Nothing. Nothing. Oh, my head. What happened to you? It's just staying at 1.
Touch your probes together. Make sure your meter's working properly.
Well, unless have I set it on the right setting? Ohms.
Any ohms, it doesn't matter. Just as long as you're on the resistance.
I presume that's ohms.
I can't see that one. That's amps, buddy.
Oh,
resistance is like 6 till 9 o'clock. Where the little omega symbol is?
that's that symbol there.
Yes.
So put it into there.
Yeah, put it like 620, 630, something somewhere in there. That should be sufficient. Yep, that's the ohm scale. Now touch your probes together and it should jump down to 0. Dave?
Yeah.
Touch your probes together and just make sure your meter's working.
It's not. It's 1.
Okay, so something's wrong with your wiring, with your meter. They may not be plugged in the right spots because that should go to 0 if you do that.
Even when I touch these?
Yes. You've got 0 resistance. You've got a dead short. That's what you're creating, and your meter should read 0.
No, the meter. Something wrong with the meter.
Yes. Check your plug where it's plugged in. Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Check where the probes are plugged into the meter and make sure they're in the right spots because you've got 3 or 4 places you can plug them in.
But I can't. My eyes are so bad I can't see the ohms.
Hang on, give it to me here. What do you want it on? The maximum ohms?
Maximum ohms?
No, any ohms. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's a continuity test. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me turn the camera on. Okay, here's my meter. Okay, it's set. My ohms is up on the top scale up here. Okay, if I put the 2 connectors together, I get 0 ohms. Okay? That's what you should be seeing.
It's not happening.
Okay, so check where it's plugged in here. You may have it plugged into the wrong spot.
Let's do it at the bottom.
Yeah, okay. Might be all right.
But I'm not getting naught when I do that. That's for sure.
Okay, so your meter's not working properly because when you connect the 2 together, you should get 0 ohms.
Oh, Juan, ¿tienes un otro? We haven't got any. My other one died on me yesterday, so we're going to have to get a new one.
Okay,
So
there's another possibility. I don't know if you can see it, but on this one, right there, come on, let's focus. There's a little diode symbol. Okay, this is just a continuity setup. And if you set it to that, what's going to happen if there's continuity? The meter will beep. Which this will work too, because that's all you're looking for is continuity on one of those wires.
Okay, well that means that we can't do any more on this particular subject then, and I'll have to wait until we get some money to go and get a new one of these. A pretty good quality one, I think we need.
Well, it appears to be working though, except for it's almost like you've got it either connected to the wrong spot, you've got the plugs in the wrong place, or one of your probe wires is broken.
Yeah, what I did was I followed the cable down with my thumb, keeping the brown on the one side all the way. That's what I got that as to be live. So,
hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave, take your meter and your probes over to Carlos's shop and let him check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, if all it is a probe, which is the probability, the highest probability, he's got probes there that he can sell you real cheap.
Sobre la so check the Roosevelt and Carlos. Okay. Mira, sorry, I'm speaking Spanish.
Okay, so they're on that wire, on that white wire. Sometimes they'll put on one side they'll put a ridge that travels down the wire, and the other side won't have a ridge. Sometimes they'll put the writing on that side of the wire.
There is a ridge.
There's usually always some way that they polarize that wire in some fashion.
There is a ridge. Okay. All right. Well, it means I can't complete this live plug-in then.
Well, if there's a ridge, if the wire is polarized,
it's not. It's right down the center. It's giving me no clues whatsoever.
okay.
And it's ovular. So I followed it down. So in other words, the brown inside, when I cut it, the brown inside, and I followed it all the way down, and then I pushed it, and then it came out this side.
Okay.
So that should be live. I'm not 100% convinced, but I'd like to just finally check it. But
if you were careful with tracing the wire, then you should be all right.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, it's good to go because I did the test as you told me to, checking every single condenser, the 6 of them, and 1 or 2 of them had problems. And what I found the problem was is the fold round was touching the other side, so that then didn't give a good register.
Yep.
Anyway, it passed its test, so it's ready for plug-in. So I could be bold and just plug it in. I'm only going to get sparks. You know, we know what that's all about. I can just go.
Have you got one of those little beepy phase meters? I know you do.
I've got a little screwdriver. I know which is live.
That'll work. Plug it in and use the screwdriver to test the input, make sure the input is live inside the Magrav. Because if you plug it in and you don't have any load on it and you plug it in backwards, it's not a big deal for short periods of time. So we can still do the test. We just have to do it a different way.
Okay.
So you plug it in and you take your little screwdriver and you stick it down where the live should be. And if it lights up, then it's live.
I'll let Juan take the glory and plug it in.
He's younger. He can handle electricity. But
A un lado. Right, you can see Juan. Let's see.
Yeah.
Arriba, mira.
Holy smoke. That didn't work. I think we just lost Dave. Wow, that was impressive. I guess we'll wait and see until Dave comes back.
Yeah, I definitely want to see the recording. I want to see that again.
That was certainly impressive. I wonder what happened. That's not, because that's very, very unusual that this happens. There's got to be a really gross fault in that system. Everybody else? Well, Dave is still, it says he's still online.
Yeah, well, you know, that might have really. He's not online.
No, it took out his, that blew his breaker. So he's going to be a few minutes before he gets back.
Yeah.
But I didn't see anybody flying, so I think they're okay. Just an impressive light show.
Well, Daniel appears to be online.
Yeah, well, it takes a couple of seconds for everybody to fall apart. I mean, it's Skype. Dave's Skype is still showing as on, but he fell off of Zoom.
Oh yeah, it does show on. Huh?
And that was sufficient enough that I'm pretty sure he probably took out the main breaker in the whole building, so everybody went down. Ed likes it.
I'm just in agreement that was really impressive.
Full transparency, folks. I mean, things can go wrong, and if you're not paying attention or you try something that's not proven, sometimes this stuff happens. But we'll do a forensics on this this unit and find out what happened I doubt it's because he got the wiring backwards. That's usually not the way this works. It's probably either a fault in the nano coating, or he's got something wired wrong inside. So I don't know. We'll find out when he gets back. Maybe we can see the damage and see where the damage is, and we can work it out right on the recording. But we'll hang out.
John?
Yes?
I'm well aware that if there's a fault in the nano coating, that we can get a short like that. But what is, I'm not so clear of the second thing you said about it, that there might be some connection somewhere. How would that contribute to the short?
Well, if he's got a wire running directly from live to common somewhere in the system, then that wire is going to get really hot and it's going to go poof. It's like sticking a fork in a light socket.
Okay.
And because the wiring of these things, sometimes it can get really confusing. You're not really paying attention to what you're doing. If you get distracted, it's really easy to get a wire going the wrong way.
Okay.
So, this is why, the testing procedure that I developed assumes that it's wired correctly. It's not, the testing procedure that I have isn't going to show that there's something not wired right. Because you're testing individual components, and you're not going to find a short circuit like this.
Are you working on a color-coded kit?
I'm not working on any kits.
I'm kidding. That was a joke.
I have a color-coded drawing.
You know what, though, on that subject, because I was just in Peru, and the model that Dave handed me to copy, I looked at it and I said to him, hold on a minute, not the same as the color-coded drawing that you guys do follow. It was backwards. I don't know if Juan followed what was an example or if he followed the diagram.
Okay. So,
we
got to wait for Dave to come back on, and if his system's anything like mine, it takes 2 or 3 minutes to reboot the modem and get everything working again, and probably another 5 to go find the breaker. So we might be a little while. I don't think he actually cooked anything in his office. He was far enough away from everything.
Now, would it have helped if it'd been if it hooked that into an extension, something that would have shut off? No, it wouldn't have made any difference. As opposed to
like a power bar with a breaker in it.
With a breaker in it, yeah.
Well, there's a breaker in the building, so.
Yeah, but if it had it plugged into the breaker bar, so to speak, then he wouldn't have blown the building. I mean,
possibly.
The big problem with that is that I haven't seen any real power bars here. They're all extension cords with nothing inside of them that would do that.
Oh, okay. But for my own, I should probably go out and get one. We have them.
So it looks like Dave got his system rebooted and got the lights back on.
Yeah, we had a bit of fun there.
That was cool.
That you can't tell us that we're not excited here, because Jackie's a big Jack. See, anyway, Juan appears to be into sparks now. He keeps plugging it in to see where it's going from. Okay. So we got those were the old capacitors, and we tried to repair them, and that failed. So that's exactly what happened there. So we're going to have to stay with iteration 5, the one that Jack's made, and the one that David made, and the other David and Diana. So we're literally plugging it back into the wall here now, and we're seeing the capacitors blowing up. So they're the old style, John. Okay.
Okay. We're sure that the GANs and the capacitors is really dry.
Oh, how stupid! I can't believe it. I can't believe what I've done.
Hey, well, this is the whole concept of transparency is, we're going to show what goes wrong too.
Guess what I've done wrong?
What did you do?
Oh boy, can't believe it. We'll have to stop this. I didn't put any GANs in there.
Oh, no. Well, that'll do it.
Well, that's good enough.
Jackie, Liliana's saying hello to you.
Hi, Lily.
Hello, Jackie, happy. Hello, Jackie, happy.
Where's Donkey?
It's Donkey, ahorita. This is okay. Very good, Donkey.
Yeah.
Donkey.
Jockey got an electric shock sitting down here the other day.
That's okay.
So anyway, moving on. I want to discuss with you ¿dónde está tu papel? We're making. We'll move on to something that does work now.
Oh, hold on a minute, Dave. Let me ask. When you say there was no GANs in it, do you mean no little bottle of GANs, or you didn't
No bottles of GANs in it. I've completely forgot.
Did you dip the coils in GANs? Were they dipped?
The capacitors, we re-nano-coated everything, and we were quite happy with the nano-coating. So anyway, that iteration 4 is not working for us now, so I'm not going to go and spend any more energy on it. What I'm going to do, John and Jackie, I'm going to build the iteration 4 units. The only thing I can do left now is to take out the capacitors and then do a live plug-in on that and see if that works, okay? But this time I'll put GANs in, okay?
Okay.
Well,
Okay,
I want to see, when you get the capacitors out, be gentle. Try to take them out as a unit. I want to see where the arc occurred.
Quieres saber dónde está el arco, but Juan's just been putting it in and in and in and in and just watching where it starts. No, okay. You said that the capacitors are no good. So, anyway, so I'm going to do one like Vivek, completely without capacitors. Okay? Sounds like I might need some connection problems sorted out with you, John. I'm not quite sure where I connect what to, or when I take the capacitors out, it sort of throws me off my radio station a little bit. So,
okay.
Yeah, Juan's making this. That is the capacitor that goes, which is shown there, that goes inside there. We're connecting up to a LED light here, and then we're putting a motor at the top with some small ball of GANs here. We're making that right now. I want to show you that. It's quite impressive. Juan, ¿tienes esto? ¿Qué tienes? Mira.
Muéstrale. Acércala aquí. Aquí está todo. Es mejor que haga eso. Ahí para abajo.
Now we're looking at the ceiling. Oh, there we go.
Can you see it?
Está todo ahí.
Juan's going to show you what he's made. Doesn't matter what language he speaks. That's the pin, which is the double loop back pin. And then you've got the capacitor. It's quite simple. You all know how to build this. And then we've got the returned pin.
Okay.
And then we've got the LED light, the blue LED light, which can go in the end cap here. We can drill a hole in there, and we can get that drilled in there. And then we've got the little motor, and that fits absolutely snug in there. So we just get a ball of GANs. No. So don't put it in all, he said, because I can't get it out. So yeah, see. So we're good to go with that one. Do some nano coating, and we can get the ball of GANs in there. What will happen is you will be using that, and then when you heal someone, the light will come on the moment the GANs is activated, and we have a little battery on the side here to activate the motor, and then that will ignite and light up. And Juan's got Kesha Spania, and
Hay un vídeo ahí.
a video of a friend of his who's made one. So we're following that. So it's great to have Juan here. He's very inventive, and he's creating all kinds of new stuff here.
Okay, what's your thinking about using the LED at the end of the health pen?
It's what happens is when you touch the pen, the light comes on. It literally shows you whenever it comes across plasma, like you put the pen against the tree, that's plasma, so that light will come on every time you engage plasma. Now your plasma, so when you put it to your skin, it will engage and the blue light will come on.
Oh, okay. I'm very curious, very interested to see.
I'm going to send you a video, John. Carl, ¿tienes este video para mandar a John?
El vídeo está colgado en la página de
Kesha Spania. So,
y está en una zona baja, o sea que tiene que pasar y aparece.
Sí.
Dile que es una mujer
that's a girl.
cerca de un frigorífico y después de una planta.
Sí.
Una planta que tiene arriba también la...
Yeah. And then when she went to the fridge, it lit up. And when she went to the plant on top of the fridge, it lit up. Pretty incredible and pretty remarkable looking thing.
Okay,
Proving.
so this might be exactly what we were looking for, because we were trying to come up with a plasma detector, a way that we can look at, a device where we could actually find the plasma of the devices that we're making, find the edges of the fields. This may be a way to do that.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that what Juan's found is the plasma detector, and that's why we're making.
Okay, awesome. Looking forward majorly to your results.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, send me that video. Send me the video link, and I'll add it into add it in if I can, and or I'll put a link in with this video so people can go see it.
So Dave, on that was the video that we saw from the Cash Espana. Dave?
It overtakes whoever's speaking when they can hear you speak. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
That was that video that we saw with the lady with the light that seemed to come out the end of the pen. It was from Cash Espana. Remember you tried it in the room and it didn't work?
The video didn't work.
Yeah, when we did it, it didn't work. So that's what happened. She had an LED light inside it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was red. If you remember the video, it was red. And it went up to the fridge. It showed plasma there, and then it went up to the flower. It showed plasma there. You put it on your hand. It showed plasma there.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. So we're very excited that Juan's taken that one on board, and we expect that to be working next week. I'll do some nanocoating his parts over the weekend. He goes away back to San Roque over the weekend, and then he comes back on the Monday. So quite exciting times for that one. And then I've got this old Magrav. You remember when you came here, Jackie, and I'm going to just connect that up. All I want to know, John, is where's input and where's output?
The input is the bottom coil, gravitational.
Gravitational. So it should not be connected to something. There it is, yeah. That's the gravitational. Yeah, that's the gravitational, yeah.
Yeah, and that's where you put the live from the wall.
Live from the wall.
And the output is the top coil magnetical.
Magnetical.
Which is where you put live to your devices.
And so where's neutral?
Neutral goes straight through. Doesn't connect to anything else. Goes right through the system.
So you just connect them together?
Yeah,
And it's flying about.
that's right. And you're putting your 3 coils in series on your live side of your lead.
Okay, well, we'll have a live plug-in on this one then, because that's only going to take me 5 minutes to rig that up. And I've got 2 more to do. So if it works, I'll connect the other 2 up as well, and then see what we get, because we have no idea of what we get. And I'll get Juan doing some testing on them as to reduction and stuff like that.
Yeah, the original Magravs didn't have the capacitors, and they worked, but they were really limited. That's why we went and put the capacitors in there, is because it improves the efficiency of the system considerably.
Okay, now what Juan has also found for us now is obviously this here. You can see now, let's see if we can get it to there. And then you got the wagon Magrav connected to the, oops, sorry about that, connected to the, come on, David. Right, that should do it. So, you know, basically you walk around with this in the street now. This one, we're taking records of it charging this up. Sorry, every time I touch it, it falls down. And he's keeping careful records of how we charge it up. We connected the LED light to it. It reduced its power. It doesn't charge it up when you put a LED light on it. Right. So we're just keeping records. But what we found today is spectacular. We found that our Magrav didn't work. This one didn't work. So we got a great testing mechanism. This one's not charging this battery. So what we do is we take it off this one. We put it on this one because we know that that battery charges up. Then we put this one on this one and swap them over and keep records. So we've done that with this dead battery here. We proved that this is a dead battery because you see the red light. It tells you it's dead. It should be a green light. So we know that this is dead, and we recharge this up to 18 volts with the Magrav. So we've now got a complete test. So when we build the 400 Magravs, we will be able to test them before we sell them out onto the street. So this is a real cool thing, John Carl. What do you think? Have you got any questions?
Other than what we discussed yesterday, the step-by-step testing procedure where you test the battery, you connect one side, test the battery, leave the connection, leave your tester on the battery when you connect the device.
We did that, and there's no change whatsoever. You think like you've got nothing, and then suddenly, after a couple of minutes, it starts recharging. I think the spark that it's still got in there, we record it. This one was 3.11. That's enough to kick the Magrav off, so that you've got even a dead battery's got a spark still left in it. So therefore, you then kickstart the plasma. Now, the one that's broken or the one that's not working, it's ironic that you said yesterday that make sure you know everything you do, and if you do some changes. Well, funny enough, we put a piece of plastic hose in here over the GANS bottle, and that seems to have made this one not work. So we're going to have to open this one up, take it out, plug it in, and then retest it. At least we've got a testing device now. So
yeah, with the plasma technology, we're working with variables we don't even understand yet, and some of these, it could be the time of day. It could be how you hold your face. We know that intent matters. We know that your emotional state when you build the things matter. So. Yeah. It's not really a stretch to think if you throw another piece of plastic in there that you're going to cause issues. What those issues are, we don't know. That's why we're doing these tests, is to gather this data so that we can extrapolate, why the extra piece of plastic causes issues.
Right, okay. So, well, at least we've got something to take out, because Jackie's model is the one we know is probably the best one we've made. So if we do anything different than what Jackie's done, we've got a model there. And don't forget, we've got all these Pisana Express, Takachi Express, these big taxi companies. Then Hector's going to speak to the big truck companies that are sending people around Peru, and we're going to be putting the big one in there. We've got a price now for these that we are happy with to sell 400 to all the taxis. So we're going ahead with that, and yeah, that'll give us a bit of cash flow here. So
you know, I thought about what I did different, and I think Lily would agree. It's happiness.
Well, we're very happy here, don't forget, Jackie.
Well, Jackie, keep in mind, it could be the amount of turns you put on your coils. It could be, or your connections. It could be how tight your connections are. There's so many things that are going to add up. That, you know, every little tiny bit will change the conditions of the plasma.
Well, interesting you say that, John, and I'm very strict on this now. When people pass me a bobbin or a coil that's been made up, first thing I do is try to tear those things open, and they don't get past me unless they're really tight.
Okay.
So, you know, that won't be an issue in Peru, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, but I think that plastic over the bottle has made this one a dud. So we'll take that out and reglue it back together, and then we'll see. We'll have proof of that's a dud, and don't do that. You know, we'll have proof of that if this battery is charged up by this motor, because we now know that it's not. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, and as for charging up, I think you need to adjust your thinking. I may be wrong. I'm open to being wrong, but I really don't think it's going to charge the batteries. I don't think you could leave it on there for 2 weeks. You're probably not going to get usable power out of that battery. The important thing is that the change that occurs. That's where I'm excited. Is that when you put that on that battery, a change occurs.
Dice John Carl, pienso no es recarga la batería para usar, pero es cambiar la batería, pero no reusa esta batería. No, eso es muerte.
Sí, eso como aparato tan
pero esto es un test, es bueno, y tienes mucho explícitamente sobre la test que tenemos.
Ya importante.
Sí. So yeah, he absolutely agrees with you 100% on that you're not actually recharging a battery, even though you're recharging a dead battery, because what we should not be saying is we are changing a dead battery into a good battery. That is not the case. We're getting a reaction from the Magrav.
Mira, tú tradúceme, lo que yo diga, tú dilo. Lo que yo diga.
Yeah. Juan's just telling me something.
Dile que le voy a enseñar, una tabla. Dile que le voy a enseñar. Díselo tú a él.
Sí.
Que le voy a enseñar una tabla en inglés. Dile.
Yeah. He wants to make a table now on Word, and he wants us to fill them in of the character of these batteries. That's what he's saying. Because everyone's different.
Dile que esa naranja.
Sí.
Esta es.
That one's different than that. That's like 6.5 volts in there still. And then this one's dead at around about 3.11. And this one, ¿qué es esto?
Esta con ácido y esta es sin mantenimiento.
Oh, this is an acid battery. This is a dry battery. So they're all different, you know.
Vale. Dile que el primer dato le puse el Magrav.
Sí.
Y calentó la batería y chupó toda la batería. Ardía y tuve que desconectar.
Okay, so you literally test reading the battery is at. You put the Magrav on, and then you record that time when you put it on, and then you wait for a couple of minutes, and then you go back and test it and see if it's just gone up one. That's all you need. 0.01.
30 segundos.
30 seconds, he reckons.
Yeah, and the important part is the change.
Y dile que este es el control, tiempo y eso de esa batería.
And therefore, that's Juan's work. Every time he passes it, he just goes and tests it and then writes it down, checks his watch, puts the time down. We know that it's going up. You can see it going up there. And, you know, we know absolute for certain what's coming, what's happening out of a Magrav. We know that it's a test.
Llegó que el último control era 19 voltios el domingo.
Yeah, we had one. We had the orange one up to 19 volts the other day, and with one Magrav. So that's quite a stunning result. As I say, it's not like holding that charge. There's nothing saying that, but over a period of 4 days, it went right up to 19 volts. So,
right.
12-volt battery.
Yeah, which, you know, it could be simply an ionic response turning the battery into a capacitor.
Say bye to John. He's Juan. He's leaving to San Roque now.
Okay, bye. Looking forward to seeing you next week.
¿Tú vienes aquí lunes?
Sí, vengo.
Okay, muy bien. He's coming back. Yeah, great. There'll be more exciting things going on next week then with such a seriously brilliant guy. There's no language barrier with him here. He sits there and he explains it until you get it. You know what I mean? And he'll draw you a picture. He's an artist as well, so he'll draw you the clearest picture you've ever seen of anything that he's coming out of his mind. So it's fun to have him here. So.
All right, Dave. No, it sounds like you're moving ahead quite nicely.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that pen to see if that does what we expect it to do. And if that will work as a plasma detector, then there's going to be celebrations in the streets.
Yeah. Quiero tú mandarme the video de esta mujer en España.
Ah, sí, lo busco.
Sí, quiero mandarle mi email. ¿Tienes?
Yo tendría que buscarlo ahí en Queche España y bajar, ponerle un rato. Es un rato ese.
Ah, sí. Busca en Queche España.
Yo te lo hago otro día, mañana.
Okay. We'll find it. I'll go through the Queche España Facebook site and I'll find it. And I'll send it on to. I'll put it in the MIP Peru. Well, now it's Queche Foundation Peru room. Hey.
Yep.
Excellent.
Okay, Dave. Thank you very much for blowing things up. That was
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, well, I like to be spectacular here with the old iteration. So it certainly was spectacular. It was smoky here.
Well, we got to show stuff like that because people have to know what can go wrong, and you know, working with new stuff, and it sometimes just doesn't work for us.
Okay, we need a microscope here. It costs 4,800 or something. We need
That's
someone.
4,800 souls, right?
Souls, yeah. So that's $2,000. I might do a program on why we need to have a microscope, because Juan's pretty much an expert on them, and big telescopes that we can put up on the television screen. We can inspect our nanocoating. It's a very important item. So I'm going to put out for someone who wants to create a bond, who wants to join Queche Foundation Peru. They can do by, that is the open door, $2,000. You get us in our GANS room with a microscope. That would be really exciting. What you do is you negotiate with Daniel the loan, and he writes your loan agreements. You get your money back. We get our microscope, but you get your money back after maybe 12 months or even 3 months if we get cracking on here, like we expect to be getting cracking. And then somebody can send us down $2,000 and I can go and get the microscope. That's the way we're working, and it seems to be working. We've got about 16,000 for the office renovations, and we've done 3 rooms now. So we'll be doing some more rooms in the near future when we get some more money in. Okay, so that's the latest from us here in Peru.
Okay, Dave, thanks a lot. Thanks, folks, for showing up. I just saw Boss just showed in here. I wanted to ask Jackie, can you let us know the details of your installation in your diesel?
Sure. You want me to verbally tell you right now?
Certainly.
Okay, it's pretty simple. It's literally hooked up to the battery. That's it right now. So you know, the magnetical is going to the positive side of the battery, and the gravitational is going to the negative. Is it hooked up to a wire that's right next to the battery?
It's coming off the battery.
It's coming off. Yeah, it's coming off the battery, and it's actually installed right next to the battery. We used ties to put it right there. So.
And what sort of effects have you noticed so far?
So I did, like you said, I took it off, and I was actually going to go to the fuel pump housing, but I couldn't get that screw off. So I went to the body, and it was good. We did measure it. It was registering as zero. Yeah, we checked it. It was 0 ohms. So it was a good point, and it didn't feel the same. You know, the car felt rougher. And we did a test, and I know it was too quick to do a test, but we did a test. We didn't like the results, and we moved it back to the battery, and the car just feels better. I mean, it glides. One of the major things, you know, it's an old diesel, so it lags a lot. Like when you pull away from a stop sign, you get halfway across the street and it'll lag. It's not doing that. It's just gliding. It's just flowing better. So.
Have you noticed, well, yeah, obviously that's an aspect of driving better, but have you noticed the steering or the brakes changing at all?
No, probably no, not so much on that. No, not at all. No.
Okay.
But definitely the mileage, I was expecting, because I made that change that I broke the plasma flow, so to speak, I was expecting to not see any increase when I first plugged it back onto the battery. But immediately we noticed an increase or a decrease in fuel consumption.
Have you quantified that yet?
We did that day, but it was an unreliable test. You know, the pump has an automatic shut off, and there was
to specify the fuel at the gas station.
Yeah, the fuel at the gas station. So
on the
gas pump. Yeah, we went about 40 miles, and we could only put in half a gallon afterwards. So I would say that's pretty unrealistic right now.
It's registered at 81 miles per gallon.
Yeah,
that's what we figured.
Yeah,
we felt that was wasn't correct.
Yeah, we don't feel that that's accurate. So I will be going about 60 miles later on today, and I will be doing another check, and hopefully it'll be back to. I'm expecting around 35 miles to the gallon. Originally, it was doing about 25.6, so that's kind of a big increase.
And this is a 300D Mercedes, right?
Correct. Yes.
5-cylinder.
Yeah, 5-cylinder. It's actually a 4-speed. The guy had he changed it over from an automatic into a 4-speed, but yeah, it's a 5-cylinder. There is a turbo on it, but 26 miles to the gallon is kind of average for that kind of car. So. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to your testing, and we'll give it a month, drive it around, put a bunch of miles on it, and we'll see what comes out of it.
Sure.
Thank you.
The other thing I was going to say, Dave, what about boats? Seeing as you had a boat, don't some boats have diesel as well? Maybe boats are another avenue that we should be looking at.
Yeah, there's not many people in the Caribbean where I came from to come here getting stuck into the Magravs, so I've got to wake them up a little bit over there, because thousands of boats come into St. Martin, Barbados, and all the islands that I visited and worked in. So I just think that they're a little bit asleep there because the weather's good, the water's good, they're just living good, you know. So
like Peru.
Well,
I've been in contact with a group called SV Delos, and they have an internet site. They do weekly broadcasts on YouTube, and they seem to be starting to get interested in this. And I'm going to, when I get a chance to talk to them directly, I want to discuss with them the opportunity of putting a system on their boat, because they've got I think it's a 48-foot or a 50-foot, something like that. What is it?
That fuel is really expensive, right? It's like double on at the marina or something. I don't know. Someone was telling me it's really expensive. So
most definitely. And if we can break into the yacht market on this, start getting a little more efficiency out of these yachts, then that's going to go a long ways, because there's a lot of people who are, you know, they're publicizing their travels, and it would make a great difference, you know, if they get, you know, 300 nautical miles out of a tank, which is, you know, really low. I'm just pulling numbers out of the air right now, but if they get 300 nautical miles out of a tank, we put a system on, and suddenly they get 500 miles out of a tank.
Oh,
in
dude.
a boat, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, and we've got some big marinas in Peru as well, you know. So, yeah, because it's one of the stop-off joints, isn't it, to cross the Pacific?
Yep.
Yeah.
What about Carrie? She's down in Florida. I don't know how far she is from the Keys, but I mean,
no, she's in Montana right now. She's I'm half expecting them to show up here at my doorstep any day.
okay.
Excellent.
All right then.
Yeah, that's definitely a market we need to tap into.
And then tractors, of course. Tractors use diesel as well. So I'm in farm area, so I'm gonna see if I can find someone to put one on. So.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's not just the diesels. It's not just diesels. It's any. We know this works for any liquid fueled automobile, generators, aircraft, any of those, anything that burns liquid fuel, or even a gas fuel. If you're running on propane, the system will work just fine on that. We have found issues with electric cars with some of the inverters, and because these are very expensive, we're being very careful with the electric cars right now, because we don't want to blow up anybody's, you know, $15,000 inverter. But it appears that the system that Dave is working with is going to work really well with the electric cars.
Okay. And what about, you just mentioned hybrids, because I have people with hybrids. You know,
on your hybrid, you put the system on the low voltage battery.
okay. Understood. All right.
And again, the three stacker, the original car unit, with the extreme electronics in the hybrids or in the electric cars, they appear to cause some issues. I can't say that it's definitive, that it happens on all of these cars, but some of the tests that we've done, we've had some issues with this. So we're being very careful with the electric cars.
But that's the three stackers. The two stacker that Dave does, you don't know yet.
That's fairly fresh. Dave is one of the first people who are actually doing a major test on these. And when these came out, I'm not sure if I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I'm going to let everybody know anyway. In the Innovation Center, they were testing these on electric model cars, radio control cars, and they reported they've got a tremendously great performance out of the car, and it ran a very, very long time. So we're pretty confident that once we can figure out how to interface it into the more complex systems, that we are going to get a major performance increase in the electric cars. We're just not certain yet how to do that interface.
Well, I mean, on gasoline and gas cars, and I was surprised with gas, we put it with the big taxi, Pisana Express. Now, if the owner of that company happens to be our director's brother and sister, and if they go up to Hector and say, hey, wow, this is giving us a 32% instant saving, I want to buy 400 for every single car I've got, I think you find that that's a pretty good deal right there.
Well, that's a pretty good indication that what we're doing, we're on the right track at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really happy with mine.
Excellent.
All right. So I guess we'll wrap it up where it looks like we're pretty much done. Take that Magrav unit apart, get some photographs of where the damage occurred so I can see where the arcs actually happened. And hopefully we can formulate a workaround so that doesn't happen ever again, because that was incredibly impressive, to say the least.
Well, I mean, hey, that was just a nano-coated thing. There was no gams to it like a fool. Maybe it's showing me that I'm rushing to do things, so I have to slow down.
Well, yes and no. If it was nano-coated and nano-coated correctly, there's no way it can short out because the nano-coating is a super insulator. So there's something else was in there, I think. Either there could have been a damage to the nano coating, it could have got scratched at just the right spot. You could have had a pin too close to a coil on the capacitors. There's so many things that it could be. I need to actually look at at where the damage occurred, where the arc happened, and then I can work backwards from that and try to figure out what was the actual cause of the arc.
Watch this video when we do the live plug-in, and you'll be able to see it dead clear, because I saw the last one that we did that blew up, and that was really spectacular on the video you sent me. So
it lit the screen right up, Dave. It's just the whole side of the screen went bright white.
I saw exactly where it was when I watched it again, so on the record. So we've got this recording now, so that'll be great.
Yeah.
You're going to want more viewers if you keep blowing things up. They'll just want to watch it blowing up.
People in it.
DC, I have a question on the concept of that pin. Should we sign off here, or could I ask that now?
No, unless it's something very sensitive.
It's no, it's because it's always a pleasure to speak with you, Ed. So yeah, please let's.
Well, I'm interested in the concept of the components of that pin. At the top, there's a motor attached to a GANS ball, and then you have a capacitor, and then you have an LED at the end. So the concept that we're exploring is that it may be an indicator of the edge of a field. Is that correct, JC?
What I see when I look at this system, I see a dynamic plasma source at the top with a directive structure, which is the coils running down into the LED. Now you're going to get a flow through that to some extent. But when you place that next to another plasma field, chances are one is going to be stronger than the other, and you're actually going to get a very strong dynamic flow through those coils, which, as we already know, when you have the plasma flow through the capacitors, we do get energy out, and that's what's lighting up the diode. That's the way I see it. Whether that's accurate, I'm not absolutely certain yet. This is the first time I've seen it, so I can only go by what I've seen. There may be other elements in there that I'm missing right now.
Inspector from Scotiabank is here.
We've got to go. The Scotiabank inspector is here to inspect Keshe Foundation Peru. So I'll have to leave meeting now.
Okay, well, we'll sign off. I'll get this up on YouTube, and get me the links for that video, and I'll get them into the descriptions as soon as possible.
Okay, thanks, John.
Okay, good night, everybody. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye. Bye.